appreciate you. Good looking out, bro.
Yeah, it's 4 minute 30 seconds.
Okay, we should be up in the air right now. Mr.
Should be up.
Yoon,
Yes, yes.
amazing. Thank you so much for doing this, bro. I'm very excited. I'm honored to have you here. It's always great to be with you.
Thank you so much.
Th-
Thank you for inviting me to this great opportunity. Being able to share different perspective and ideas. Um, yeah, overall, thank you for your generosity.
Dude, you're the kindest. Thank you so much. Uh, I love what you opened up the conversation with. I think it's super meaningful, and it's intentional. We have some good conversation coming up. We've been talking about some good topics recently, and we've always talked about good topics. So that's why it's a big privilege, and I hope I do well by this sense. So, for those that are joining us, I'm here with my very good friend Yoon Hong, who is an outstanding gentleman, a great guy, and we share a few things. One of them is that we're both first generation immigrant Americans. So I'd like to talk about some aspects of our backgrounds in this sense, and how some of our transition periods, how we adapted to the new lifestyle here in America, having immigrated from our respective countries of origin, and moving the conversation forward, how we could stop the hate, stop the misunderstanding amongst each other, and walk away, with a little more understanding, with a little more patience, and or a little more knowledge about each other's backgrounds and differences. So thank you so much for everyone who's tuning in. I appreciate it. We're gonna start a little bit about each other, a little bit about Yoon. If you would please tell us, a little bit about yourself, bro. Where were you born, and what's sort of your first memory?
Okay. Hello, hey guys. My name is Yoon. Um, I'm it's Ahmed introduced me. I'm a immigrant to the United States. I came from South Korea when I was 12 years old, and I came here about 9 years ago in 2012, and
Mm,
started to live here since eighth grade in middle school, and ever since I've been adapting to this new environment, changing from my fully Korean side to American side, learning new perspective, new ideas, pretty much every day, and just growing as a person and seeing uh, the environment in two different aspects from Korean culture and the Western culture in the United States, made me really be diverse and be able to really bring different perspective and ideas to the table. Yeah,
beautiful.
currently, right now I'm 21, 22 years old now, and currently going to school in Riverside.
Amazing,
And
bro.
yeah,
Dude, thank you so much. You bring up a gold mine of topics, a gold mine of different viewpoints that you brought up. I think one of the first ones, we actually share super commonalities. The time we came here in our lives. I also came here in 2008 as a middle schooler. The year doesn't matter, but as a middle schooler, and having the different background, and having the difference in perspective really shined for me in middle school, because all I knew was, Middle Eastern. I was born and raised in Baghdad, Iraq. So the Middle Eastern culture, I knew I was surrounded by people of Muslim faith, practicing Muslims in my background. So when I came here and I identified, with those things, Middle Eastern, Muslim, that was a really big difference for myself and for those who were around me in my new community. So, but I didn't have the, now over time I've developed the difference, the different perspectives, realizing
Mm-hmm.
that hey, this is one way of living. There's another way of living, and people around the world live differently. Like I'd like to get
Yeah,
into it a little more um, about what you mentioned with coming with a South Korean background and
yeah,
being around your family.
mm-hmm.
Personally,
Yeah,
that really made all the difference for me. I wouldn't have had I would have had a way worse time transitioning without my family, without the social support, without the emotional support of my family. And
of course.
yeah, thank you. And that was
Yeah,
one thing that I really love that we've maintained is I think there's a difference between, you and I both could identify as coming from uh, Asian countries, from Asian slash Eastern um, communities.
mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah,
think one thing in common is the community centered lifestyle versus the individualistic lifestyle here in America.
yeah,
Would you agree?
yeah. Definitely, there's a big difference, and I feel like the main reason a lot of people would struggle coming to going or living in other country or other culture is the culture difference and the main um, personal relationship difference between other people in society.
Mm,
So, in like you said, in Asian countries, it's more family based and very reserved, and everyone, the family household works for the family. But in
mm,
Western culture, it's mostly like we have a family, but um, family members work for individual efforts, and it is okay to walk out of the family if it means to be um, individually growing for
mm.
yourself, kind of
Right.
mindset in Western culture. So yeah, I think that's like the main difference that brings up confusion or like very different opinion from
Mm.
these two cultures.
Thank you so much, bro. You bring up super good point, and
Thank you.
which is one of the many things I'd like us to highlight together is that there are differences, which we're not saying one way or another we should live one way or should live another way. It's just we're bringing to light that there's differences that
Hmm.
you and I and many other people from similar parts of the world that that originated from similar parts of the world, they come from this completely other way of living, which is sort of like you said, all for one. You didn't say it that way, but the family members are for the family as a whole unit rather than putting individual success
Yeah,
at the forefront of our efforts, of our daily lives, of our interactions, relationships.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like um, coming here, living here, nobody would come to us to teach these things. We have to learn these things by ourselves. So we just go
Yes.
into our daily lives, and then from these daily lives, we would be encountered with these differences and struggles. And there was a lot of I'm pretty sure you and I could relate that in being living here in the United States so far has brought up many um, conflict
Mm,
or situations where we didn't expect this something to happen, and then it turned out something bad, or turned out something very different,
like a
and then
clash.
yeah, clash, and
Mm,
then like others were taking it in a different perspective, and that way. So I'm pretty sure we have those moments that bring us to realization that, oh, this is different, and this is how it's different in this country, or this is how it's different in this society. And over time, we just get we learn more and more, and we we adapt.
yeah,
Um, yeah, everyone adapts to the environment they live in. So yeah, um,
beautiful,
yeah,
bro. I appreciate it.
yeah,
Yeah, I definitely have had a lot of like culture clash, a lot of lifestyle clash, a lot of just behavior clash, and more so, I had those all the time when I
yeah,
first moved here.
definitely.
Yeah, like one time I was in seventh grade, and I was in Mister. I went to this school in Southern California. It doesn't need to name names, but I was in our like fifth or sixth period towards the end of the day, and I had broken English, bro.
Yeah,
I
of
had a
course.
heavy accent. It was a lot of people, pointed it out, and they got some laughs out of it, and I've
Hmm.
laughed with it over time. But at the time, it was like my first week, maybe even my first day in school, and this teacher, Mr. Nafziger's class, and I was really shy. I was kind of ashamed of my accent. I was not self-confident much, but I needed to use the restroom. So I like apparently, like, I don't remember what I did different that I then realized. I think I like went up to the teacher's desk, and instead of like raising my hand, I
Yeah,
went up to the teacher's desk, and I
yeah,
asked him to use the restroom. But he was kind of upset. He was getting upset with me. He's like, what do you want?" or something like that, and
yeah,
I'm forced to say it out loud, and I'm like, "Teacher, can I use the restroom?"
yeah.
And it was everyone laughed. The whole class laughed. Just that how heavy my
Mm,
accent was, and that was like the first time they heard me talk
yeah,
out loud, and yeah, it was like the first communication. I was there was a clash in communication, clash in how to go about things, and like teacher student dynamics and things like that.
yeah. I feel like that would have been really hard for you. Like, yeah, was I had that kind of moment too, where in school, I was really ashamed of my English skills. So like I wouldn't talk to no anybody because I wouldn't want to show that I was bad at English. And I
Mm,
feel like we have those a lot of those moments that I don't know, those struggles that made us to work harder in this environment to really learn English and learn the environment here. So I mean, at the same time, like it was a very hard time, but those are the moments that made us to grow
mm-hmm.
and
Move
develop in a
forward.
move forward in a better way. Even though the pain or
Mm,
the suffering that we got
yeah,
may have carried over until
agreed.
now. I feel like we just understand that there's a event and situation like this out there that's happening, and yeah,
Yes, Beautifully said, bro. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank
Wow,
you.
yeah, you talked about how it was painful, and it was, especially, I was a seventh grader. Like, I don't know how seventh grader are, but I didn't have that much confidence in myself to begin with. uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so that hurt, and it wasn't like a one-off instance, as I'm sure was your case as well. It wasn't just once. That was just the first of many that I remember. And thankfully, I actually was thinking about some things leading up to this conversation. Thankfully, like a lot of them, I've kept out of my mind, and because they were so powerful or they made me feel one way or another, that I blocked them out. Um, and we say that, like you said, we say that because we are to bring highlight, to bring to attention that we are aware there are people going through this right now. The media
Yeah.
shows it. The media shows it like it's this really terrible thing that all of a sudden started to happen. You know.
Yeah.
But you just said you came here like 9 years ago. I came here like 12, 13 years ago. Um, and those were the what happened when we got here. Who knows what happened before we got here, and we know what's happened since. So we're aware of that, and this is I appreciate you being here for a conversation for vulnerability and um, and moving forward, opening
Yeah.
dialogue so it could be a safe space, so we could learn to deal with our emotions, and we could learn to talk about them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Yoon, thank you so much for that piece of vulnerability. Let's move the conversation forward. I super appreciated the way JB and I did this last week. He gave some beautiful advice and some insight. So the same way I'd like to continue forward with you, bro, is what. So we know there's pain out there, but let's move to positivity. What piece of advice, something actionable, that you think the people who are listening to this or watching this, wherever they are, what is something we could implement to be more positive, to stop the hate, to stop the misunderstanding?
Um, I feel like there could be a lot of great advice or great things to say for this, but um, I'm just trying to think of something that's meaningful, and I think um, I think just the one advice that I think would be very important is just knowing that someone's behavior or acting
Mm,
is due to how they grew up or how they were taught. So uh, my advice would be understanding why. I mean, understanding and knowing there's a reason for some person to act that this way, act a little strange than other people, and there's always a reason.
differently.
Yeah, differently, and then there's always a cause for it. So it's not like those people who are acting differently are weird or out of their mind. It's just that um, they have a different understanding of something. That's
Mm,
why, due to that, that's why they're acting out differently than what this society has taught the people to act behave. So if everyone starts to have an open mind and kind of understand, even though they may not understand the whole thing,
mm-hmm,
if they just give it a chance and don't accept it as a weirdness or
mm,
strangeness or uh, dangerousness,
mm,
then we will be able to. just move along with it and and accept it. But the most important thing is understanding there's like a reason for it.
Mm.
And the easiest way to learn it would be start exploring different culture and exploring different environment for the people who are living here. Because if you just live on a one place, you just know that one place and environment until you move out your comfort zone to step outside and then move along with new life and stuff. So yeah, that's my advice on that. Like, there's always misunderstanding. There's always different stuff that's going on, and I'd say one way to combat is give it a chance and try to understand.
Wow. I love that, bro. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm just here to share great ideas, great stuff. It's a little nervous that this live streaming. If it was not live streaming, I'll be free flowing. No, talking more freely, I think.
Yeah.
But
Hey, bro, you have said some beautiful words so far. I understand the nervousness, the nerve wracking about the live stream and about going on record, being recorded to be published on the internet. I understand. But you are I'm the chimp here, bro. I'm the guy. I'm the guy who's a wreck. You're doing amazing, bro. You just said I couldn't have said it better myself. But
mm,
you said something along the lines of understanding each other, um, starting with not characterizing or judging someone's actions as different, um, that just because they're different or just because we haven't seen it before or unfamiliar with, not to dismiss it as weird or crazy or dangerous, because you came from South Korea, which I don't know how far it is, how many miles it is from South Korea to Southern
me neither.
California.
It's too far.
Yeah, right. It's like, shoot, I don't even know. I don't even know how far Iraq is to Southern California, but it's literally on the other side of the globe. Um, so talking about walking a mile in another person's shoes, we walked all those miles. First half of my life, I'm 24 years old. I'm I came here when I was 12, so half of my life spent in the Middle East, half of my life um, being spent here in United States. So I walked those miles in Middle Eastern shoes, in Middle Eastern perspective. And then when I came here, I hadn't walked those miles yet, um, but I began to walk those miles. But maybe you agree to this. I came here as an immigrant, a new member of my new community, and I began to be open to the new culture. But some people weren't as open to thinking about my culture, where I'm coming from, as much. Um,
Yeah,
so I
of course.
super appreciate you shedding light on differences and saying it the way you said it. It was
Yeah,
beautiful.
but at the same time, the many reason the reason why many people who live here in this society acts that way, the reason why they think weirdness is dangerous or weird is
Mm,
because for them they haven't seen anything other than the United States. So for them to see something other, different culture or different perspective is uh, seen as crazy or different,
mm.
and that's why
Like
people,
a bad different.
yeah, like like they think it's bad or not good. So
Mm,
that's why they automatically shut their mind and not really want to learn or give more chance to the people who are different. But I'm just saying that they're not acting like that because they're selfish. I mean, I mean, they could be selfish, but mainly they're acting like that because they just don't know
They
much
haven't.
better.
Mm,
Yeah, or like they
they
don't
haven't
know.
seen differently.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
why. And
yeah,
you know, we just have to understand them also, where it's like a cycle. It's like a we're having difficulties, they're having difficulties, and then we wouldn't like with these two different images would not be going together, and then that's why it creates the division. But we have to understand that on the both side they're looking at their own perspective, and then that's just creating weirdness. So
mm,
I mean, if we're just looking at the human side, we're all the same. We're all the similar human being. So if someone's acting rude to you, there's also a reason why for that, and then all that. So yeah.
beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. Thank you, bro.
What did you understand what I was kind of like organizing to?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think what I picked up is that I am one person, someone else is another person. Both of us have had our life experiences, and both of us bring something to the table, and it's important that we both realize it, both individuals or everyone involved in this relationship, because relationships are an exchange. It's not a one-way street.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have something to offer in terms of friendship, in terms of you know um, social contribution, to adding to the conversation, but I also have a lot to take in. You know,
Yeah.
bringing my differences to the table and accepting other people's, or working to understand other
Yeah.
people's differences.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. It's a working process. Working
Beautiful.
process.
Yeah, working process, effort. As long as I am very hopeful, I am super happy, and I am thankful when there's just any effort from all sides. I think if there
Yeah.
is any effort by all sides involved, um, we could do a whole lot of progress in terms of social change, being nicer to each other, being more tolerant of each other's differences,
Mm-hmm.
accepting of, like you said, if something is different, doesn't mean it's weird, doesn't mean it's unacceptable. It's
Yeah.
just, have I thought about this before? No. Am I open to thinking about it? Yeah, if like, for example, Yoon, if I hadn't met an immigrant before, a South Korean immigrant before, and like, you know, for us Middle Easterns, like we greet each other a certain way, and in a where the community talks a certain way. So if I am just used to the way my community members talk, and I hear you, or you say something a whole another way, doesn't mean, a lot of people, I think, in our experiences, I think you would agree as well, it's been my experience, a lot of people are quick to say, hey, you're different, and then
Yeah.
starting we versus them, you
Yeah.
know, like creating separation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Definitely. And I feel like that's what's happening right now. It's as simple as that. You know, everyone just different from the culture aspect, but more and more people are getting short-sighted because the technology these days and comfortability these days bring you
Mm,
everything quick. So more and more people are desiring quick results, and then
Mm.
they're getting impatient, short-sighted, and not being able to wait. So more and more people are closing their mind to open up.
Mm.
I mean, I'm just saying in a way that like I
What I
think
think,
the better technologies like has made us to be here, but that what we see on news, what we see on the society, everything is just pretty much this where people are not trying to open up or trying to understand other people. So yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I super agree. What I think you're trying to say is that, you know, the state of the world was one way. If it was a fire, technology, the current technology, social media, and having this instant access to information that is maybe not necessarily always accurate, with the misinformation and disinformation campaigns. We're not going to get
Hmm.
like political or conspiracy theories, but just saying not everything you read online is true, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I
100%.
what I was following you when I was following what you said is, those information online, those readings that you find online, those videos we may uh, come to see online, are just, maybe made to move us emotionally one way or another. Um, bro? Have you watched The Social Dilemma on
No.
Netflix? No.
Is it
Oh,
a show or something like a movie?
it's like a movie. It's a one part thing where,
Oh, okay.
like, it's like a documentary, but it's not multiple parts. It's just one, like a movie. Um, it's super informative.
Hmm.
If you haven't, I recommend checking it out, and I'd
For
love to
sure.
hear your perspective after.
What is it
um,
called?
it's called
Social.
The Social Dilemma.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe I'll check it out.
Beautiful, and it's super informative. One of the many takeaways I took away is
Yeah.
that, let's say, I'm a social media user. Let's use Facebook for example. I'm a social media user, person A, and you are social media user B. So let's just say like there's a difference between you and I, and I don't like to say right and left and liberal and conservative. I don't even know what those mean. I don't know which one's the right, which one's the left, but let's say, I hold uh, right end of the spectrum views,
Hmm.
and you hold left end of the spectrum views. So the social media algorithms
Yeah.
uh, push certain stories that motivate me one way so that they support or fuel my fire. So they push information onto me that is right end of the
Yeah.
spectrum perspective, but at the same time they push onto you left end of the spectrum perspectives.
Yeah.
And that's where sort of like what I took away from it is that's how polarization gets to be so big, especially in today's society, because we come to the conversation. Let's say, I'm always on my Facebook, you're always on your Facebook. I get emotionally charged, you get emotionally charged, and after these emotional, polarization, one way and another, where I am going to the right, you're going to the left, um, we come to the, after some time, we come to the conversation with each other. And from the get go, it's not even open to conversation because we're not thinking of the same topics. You are
Yeah.
thinking, I don't know what the topics are, but let's say healthcare. You think, all the videos that you've been watching, hey, Medicare for all is a terrible idea. And I watch something that, oh, well, I watch many things that, oh, Medicare for all is the best idea ever. And if we don't, many people, I think personally, I didn't realize that we are all having different conversations.
Mm.
So, first of all, understanding that, oh, the person I'm conversing with is not even bringing the same, presumption. We're not even talking about the same thing. So I'm saying A, they're saying B, and we're just talking to two different brick walls without knowing it.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was interesting. Like how you said, social media feeds different news to different people. I don't know. Maybe we're not gonna get too deep into this, but do you think that's true?
You know what, bro? I do. I do.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Like
like,
they find out what you're interested in, and they just feed you those interests, and then more and more like they push you onto this like this side or that side. Is that what you're talking about?
basically, like,
Oh.
more or less, you summed it up very well. So what I remember, and I think this is true of human nature, um, from the film, it said that what I took away from it is that they push certain things that get you angry. So
Mm-hmm.
because they want to drive engagement, and anger is the biggest one of, I don't want to say it like it's scientifically factual or anything, but uh, anger is one of the biggest motivating factors for people to engage with something. So social media algorithms, like Facebook's algorithms, intentionally push things that will anger you. It's
Mm.
not that they push things that will make you happy.
Yeah.
So what I took away from the Social Dilemma documentary is that uh, face social media groups like Facebook find out about you, specific details,
Yeah.
what you like, what you dislike, what you're into, what you're against, based on your patterns and your use and all of these. And based off of that, they, purposefully send you things to keep you engaged. And that is, it happens to be things that make you angry.
Mm. That's very that was new information that I got because I knew apps were customizing your feed
Mm,
so that it shows what's interested for
mm,
you, and that but I didn't know that over time it could um push you to one direction or push you to or show you some the things that makes you angry
mm-hmm,
but doesn't show the whole picture. But the whole thing like about the interest, like surveying the interest from the app, I thought it
uh-huh,
was just mainly um for the entertainment. But then now that you say they have a certain purpose
mm-hmm.
or direction that they're going to, I think that's totally possible. I never thought it that way, but yeah, I think that's a possible scenario where they can really push some news to people and then some different news to other and make them
Mm,
more angry, I guess. But yeah,
yes.
that's totally. Who would have thought like that? No, who would have thought like some app surveying? Oh, are you interested in these category? And we all take it as like a um, we're just trying to seek out for what we like. But it ends
Mm-hmm.
up being that they find about us and then they show. Or they choose what makes us angry. So that's very interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agreed. It's a lot to take in.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a new idea.
I just put this all onto you right now, but it sounds like from your experience, because you use social media. I mean, who doesn't these days, right?
Yeah.
From your personal experience, it sounds like these things are making sense to you. Um, that's the social media experience.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
mean,
just
I didn't know, but yeah, it just makes sense that it
makes
does. But
sense.
yeah, yeah.
Thank
What were you
you.
saying?
No, I was just saying it wasn't too important. I just want to get it out there
Yeah.
because I'm sure everyone knows by now. Um, but it's just be careful, what you say out on social media, what you say in response to people. So let's say, I see a post on Facebook and I'm like, no, this person is clearly wrong. Where are they getting their information from? Type,
Mm.
type, 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 angry, type, 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 you
Yeah.
know, and then like fire off an angry message. But that's a losing situation in the first place because that's assuming that we have the same perspectives. We are presented the same information, that we
Mm.
are looking at the same world,
Yeah.
because some of us are not looking at the same world at all.
Yeah. But then that makes it really difficult for anybody to talk about anything if everyone's seeing different things. Wouldn't it be?
I agree, bro.
Shouldn't shouldn't we all observe the same thing?
So should we? I mean, that's a super good question. Should we versus do we?
I don't know.
Right? What we should or shouldn't do? I think you have a very good moral compass, bro. I trust you. We've been in situations before. You're my friend. So yeah,
Yeah.
we look at things similarly in some cases, and I think yeah, we should do some things certainly. Yeah, we should be on the same page, but is that really the case? I kind of doubt it.
Mm.
I think what we could do, that's not to say. So yeah, we that's identifying the problem. We're here about positive change and doing something about it. So we've identified, I think, that there is a difference in what kind of conversations we're having. We're not looking at the same world. So what could we do about it? I think is just being a little more patient with each other, not jumping to conclusions. If we could um, take the beginning part of the conversation to establish that we're on the same page, or to establish which page we're on, by asking each other questions and being considerate of who's in front of us, whether be it
Mm.
virtually or in person, God willing, we get to in person activities safely soon. But
But
yeah,
yeah.
just coming to the conversation like an open plate. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh like if we have the same information or not. But um yeah, I never knew that everyone's getting different answers. I mean, news. I thought everyone's just looking at the same thing.
So how does
But
that make you feel?
it makes me feel like they're out there to, I mean, they meaning social media or someone's there. They're out there to separate everybody.
Mm,
That's what I'm getting at. That's the conclusion. If they're doing this on purpose, then they're out there to separate everybody. That's what I think, and then I think that's messed up. It shouldn't be, but
agreed, because
yeah,
I value unity. I do as well.
yeah,
Unity, community, coming together.
yeah,
I think that's beautiful. I think life is more fun when we have friends. Uh, so if we have diverse friends rather than like closed groups that we all like belong to exclusively without
yeah,
including others. Yeah, I definitely value unity over
yeah,
conflicting thoughts or argumenting thoughts.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When you said unity, I don't know. For some reason, I started to want to go.
Unity.
That's one way. Unity. But I was thinking like playing a sports with everyone together. Like I just started that. Like I don't know why, but like that's something that we miss. Like just going to a park and playing ball, like basketball or soccer. And any kind of sports that makes us bring together regardless of what. And then in that situation, it's about playing the sports game. So you know, I just thought of that because when we were playing games,
Hmm.
everyone's united. And no one's not. I mean, there could be argument, but it's for the sake of good argument. So when we're just uh physically moving and
Hmm.
physically acting, we can't think inside. Like when we're moving and stuff, like we have to focus on what's in front of us right now. We can't be overthinking and then judging other people.
Hmm.
So I think maybe everyone should start playing sports, um, start playing soccer or start playing some kind of sports to bring everyone together.
Bro, I love that. You're like a that was full of wisdom, bro.
No, that was just random as idea that I just thought of. Just
It's super valid. I think it's
yeah.
valid. Life, you could even say life is like a game, a sports game. We could be on a given team, and it's really a team effort in most cases. In my studies, in my immigration process, in my integration in my new community, you know, succeeding in middle school, high school, different kinds of succeeding, whatever you want to think of it, like in the classroom, making friends, being in the community. I wasn't able to do any of that and would have never been able to do any of that um, by myself. So
Mm,
I had to play with my teammates. And like you said, there could have been arguments. There were points in time where I didn't agree with my teammates in this metaphor, but we argued. We had debates, we had discussions that were all trying to move our game forward. Yeah, yeah. Bro, it's sports, but if everyone could play sports, do sports, definitely take care of your mind and your body. You got to find a balance. I hope we did not lose Mr. Yoon again. We've been having a beautiful conversation, but my friend seems to be frozen for a little bit, and we've lost him. That's no problem. I appreciate you all being here with me. I've been with my very good friend Yoon, who is speaking some truth. He just compared life to sports and community to a sports team. The different members of the community being on, excuse me 1 second, different members of the community being different team players and working towards the common goal of winning the game, which I think winning the game entails having a good life, living virtuously, living in peace with each other, having positive experiences, positive versus negative or zero sum, where we're having fun at others' expenses, and it's a we versus them, and one party at least has to lose. At least one party has to lose. I believe that's a super good perspective by Mr. Yoon. He's a beautiful perspective of that analogy between a team and a community, and it seems we've got him back. So it's been
Yeah,
awesome. You,
I was
thank you.
shy. I got out, came back. Yeah,
Hey man, I appreciate you doing this. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you working with
yeah, of
me
course.
with technical difficulties. So
Sorry, I mean, I appreciate you working with me because I'm the one who's like messing up. Internet trying to bring us apart. But
that, bro, that seems
yeah,
to be what the internet's been doing all along. Now we're onto the internet, it's crashing. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but bro, thank you for working with me. And
yeah,
with that being said, I think you have a beautiful work ethic in terms of, you know, people. I've worked on myself a lot in my life, thankfully. Um, and I attribute to that. I attribute that. I think a lot of people. It froze again. I was just
I mean, I'm hearing
trying.
you.
Oh, bro,
My
beautiful, beautiful.
my thing was frozen. But
Comes and
actually, if
goes.
this happens one more time, I think I'm gonna start using my phone. Do you
Hey,
hear me?
bro, what I do. Whatever works. If
Oh, okay.
and you're more than welcome to come on 100 times, bro. So if today doesn't end up working out for the better, I appreciate your time, and we could try again. It's because
Yeah, of course,
you know what I'm
100%.
saying. Yeah, I don't want to like because it personally when I work with the internet and it cuts off like three, four, 5 times, I get irritated. I'm like, so I don't want to put you through that.
No, 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 it's okay. We gotta finish what we started.
Yeah. So I super appreciate that. I'll try to be prompt. I was talking, I was trying to transition into attributing a lot of inspiration on working on myself to beautiful people in my life, such as yourself. I've seen
Thank you.
you, work on yourself in terms of communication. At times I've been difficult to communicate with, but you stuck through it, and it was you played a lot of patience. You exerted patience for the both of us. So bravo to you. Thank you so much for doing what you do. How do you do it, bro? Could you share something with us? Could we take some advice from you?
Um, how do I do? Actually, I didn't know I was doing it the whole time. Like, thank you for saying these great words because I didn't realize I was constantly developing. But that's I think that's just as a person you whatever you just do whatever's in your heart, and then what's in my heart is um I don't know, trying to help others. I don't know why, but I feel like everyone has those in their mind. Even the criminals would have that in their mind. Like they would want to help the people who are in a worse position than them. And I think it's in the nature of a human. So if we just be true to ourselves and uh, accept the real emotion, like, oh, it's okay to get angry. It's okay to get lazy or I don't know, depressed or sad or happy. because those are all true emotions. So accepting those true emotions and uh, just knowing that other people have those same emotions and nobody's perfect. So having that mindset makes me easier and then better at being patient with other people and understanding their hardship. But
Beautiful.
yeah, I think um, yeah, I don't know. You would have to go through experience the hardship in order to understand the hardship, you know. But yeah,
Super good point, bro. I love that. I love everything you said. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for doing it without even knowing. Thank you for doing it for the goodness of your heart.
yeah,
Um, and I super appreciate that. I want to follow up with you on the point about the relativity in perspective. So experiencing hardship
yeah,
um, gives one an appreciation for other people's hardships.
yeah, yeah. Of course,
Yeah, yeah.
experiencing. I feel like the best lesson in life would be, of course, nowadays we have a lot of YouTube or social platform where we can learn information. Everything is information. Everything is new information. So those are all great sources. But the best one that goes to your heart, that goes to your thoughts, I'd say is experience. Just go out there and start working, like do any kind of work. That you'll maybe people will start understand. But I feel like we both weren't always like this. We grew to be understanding other people. I myself I used to be some high school kid who's very spoiled and not understanding other people
Mm,
because I didn't know much better and I didn't know many different hardship. So the people who act very rude or very um not nice, or the people who maybe haven't went through the hardship, and I feel like at the long run, in the short run, it makes us angry. People who
mm,
are trying to work better, but at the long run, if you look at the whole life, many people who live easily are struggling in life, not because of money, but because of like I don't know their self.
mm.
What is it?
The lack of experiences, maybe
Behavior and stuff. Um, just overall,
behavior.
they're not a happy person. But we have to look at everything in a long term. I mean, I don't. I'm just saying it, but it's good to see everything in. Sorry, I was cutting out, right?
Little bit. I heard it's good to see
It's good to
that
see.
was it's good to see some things in life. I believe I wasn't able to follow it all the way.
Uh, I forgot what I just said, but no, I was just saying. Oh, it's good to see in a long term, and I see myself keep cutting out or stuff like that. But yeah, it's good to see life thing in a long perspective.
Mm, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
good to
Ahmed, I think I'm yeah,
you might disconnect. I hope not. Do you hear me?
yeah, I might just start using my phone. It's like
Okay.
freezing, and I feel like
If
my mic is freezing too. So
your mic is unfortunately cutting in and out, I did hear
yeah,
that if you wanna switch to your phone, I did hear that. You go ahead and do what works for you. I
Yeah,
appreciate you, bro.
I'll get that working right now. But
Beautiful.
meanwhile, you can go to the other topic or talk
Yeah, yeah,
about
yeah.
whatever you
Do
like.
your thing, bro. I'll be here entertaining. Blah, blah. No, I'm just kidding. People don't want to see that. uh, wow. So
Yeah.
you just left us with a super good cliffhanger. He just said it's really good to experience life on a longitudinal scale, on a long term basis. And I, so we are both, Yoon and I are both, well, not both of us, but we're both linked with UCR undergraduates, the University of California, Riverside. And the University of California, Riverside has a medical school, UCR School of Medicine. And the UCR School of Medicine, one of the biggest things that distinguishes this school is their LACE program. And it's longitudinal, is what I care about, is the connection that I'm making here. It's longitudinal ambulatory care experience, or something of the like. Um, and what the importance is
Hey,
that
you. Sorry.
they introduce beautiful. I believe we're getting Yoon back. Let me just see. Yoon, are you able to hear me, bro?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Wonderful. I could hear
Using my
you as
phone
well.
now. Just a little setup, and I think we should be good.
I think we're, dude, you're great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice. That's it's a beautiful camera too, bro. Super high res.
Oh, it's my phone. That's why I think.
Nice. Yeah, the webcams. Man, you'd think we'd have better webcam, built-in webcam technology by now, but it's they're grainy cameras. I
Yeah.
got I got you on the stream, bro. Thank you for getting back on. I hope you like your camera the way it is. If not, feel free to adjust it. But we got you on the stream as well, so you're playing.
Okay.
Cool,
I think we should be fine now.
awesome.
No.
So, Yoon, you left us off with this point that you said it's really good, it's really important, it's super valuable to experience life on a long term scale.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate? Is there a story you want to share with us about, maybe your experience in the United States, how maybe your perspective changed, or what importance did experiencing life on long term scale play?
Um. I this could get very deep, but I saw it in a lot of like friendship, I think, or like fellowship with other people. So like many times um long term. Like maybe in high school, I don't know. In my life, I always had this like relationship where with other people, where I felt like I wanted to move on and then just get away from some people
Mm,
because I felt like I was making some effort to make like be a friend with them,
mm.
or like
A good
uh,
person.
a good person to them.
Hmm.
But like
But you didn't feel that replicated.
uh, yeah, that too. But I'd say like people around me. I mean, so let's say there's a person A, and then I was being nice to this guy A, and then people around me are like they don't they don't want to spend their extra time to got to know this person A.
Mm.
So many people just left A, but I was there to, teach this A person that even though he or she may be uh, like not social or like whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it is okay because you learn to be social and you learn to be different. I mean, better person in general. It's not
Mm-hmm.
everyone is a great person from the beginning. Some people have to learn it and carry that on. So I was just, I felt like I had those
There
kind
for
of
them.
relationships. Yeah, there for them, and then I was there for seeing in a long way. Where many after many years, maybe they will change, or like
Mm-hmm.
after many years, they may be different. But I feel like um uh maybe this example doesn't really correlate with the long term example, but throughout my life, I just saw it as in a more that way. Like a lot of, when I came across a lot of people who are doing work for the short term reward, like we were just right now. Yeah, like in that moment, they won that situation, of course. But overall, when I look at it a long way, people who always want the short term reward and being want to be able to um, win that situation all the time. It is a good thing at the moment, but I feel like when I look at it the long way, many times they're more frustrated,
Mm-hmm.
more impatient, and then many times they don't look at things in a long run, only in a short run, where they come across some disaster or hardship
Mm-hmm.
that they never expected. And then and I looked at it as that's a result of looking at short term
Mm.
side. So that's
Yeah.
why I was saying look at things in the long run. But this could apply many different ways. It's something that I was kind of felt as I lived so far. So maybe I'll, maybe what I just said would not really resonate with you, but I feel like you would understand in a some way, some part of the way. So yeah, that's why I wanted to share that.
Thank you for sharing, and I appreciate you sharing, Yoon.
Thank you, thank you.
What I took away is that we if we look at things on a short a short-term vision or immediate returns, or what's in it for me in the now and the immediate future, we we a lot of times get a short-sighted image. Obviously, that's where the term comes in, short-sighted. But we get an incomplete image of what our relationships could be like, what the consequences of our actions could be like. Drawn back to the UCR School of Medicine example about longitudinal experience, working at I personally appreciate that. I'm not a UCR School of Medicine student, but personally, at my previous workplace, I was privileged to get like 3 years worth of experience, longitudinal experience over time, where I started there, working as a volunteer, and then made it all the way to, I graduated through positions, but due to the length of the time that I was there, that allowed me to see things that I wouldn't have seen uh, on a shorter time scale. So, like, what you see in 1 week's worth of work, you see much more of in 1 month's worth of work, more, in a quarter, in a half year, in a full year, and in multiple years. So it's not a linear growth. Our experiences and our insight are not linear with time. They get, we get more and more insight. It's not
Yeah,
linear. It's like a sort of an exponential curve, would you
that
say?
was really good. Yeah, I didn't think you would relate that to the graph, but that's also correct. Yeah.
Bro, yeah, sometimes I'm like, do I do I put a graph in here? No, it's not. Yeah, I appreciate you following that. Excuse me.
Or
Yeah. So, for example, exercising. I've been exercising more and more lately, trying to do like a routine. I've been walking a lot, bro. I'm trying to be more of a walker. Start my day at least, or at least do one per day. At the best, start my day with it every day. And over time, walking has gotten more enjoyable. When I
Mhm.
don't walk, I feel like I have this maybe bumpy start to my day. When I don't walk to start my day, I feel cluttered. I feel like, I don't know. But yeah, how have you been during the pandemic, bro? I see you look great. You exercising? What are you doing? You hiking, bro? You walking? What's going on?
No, actually, I recently started exercising too. It wasn't like I've been constantly doing ever since. I don't know. Ever since pandemic, I've been lazy. I feel
I
like everyone,
understand, bro. Yeah, totally. Like,
yeah, everyone,
I'm thankful for good health. Good health with you and your family.
yeah, yeah,
God bless.
everyone's,
God bless.
um, yeah, everyone's very well, and then healthy, staying healthy, eating good is the priority.
Nice.
So, always doing that, and moreover, I realized that I couldn't live my life just lazy. So I started to reshape my life, making schedule, going on exercises, and even though like at the time of being you doing it, you just feel like you're just wasting more energy. But um, in the big picture, your life is getting better without you realizing. So
When you
yeah,
exercise, when you're
when I exercise,
not lazy.
yeah, when I try my effort to make my day better. At the time of the day, it's tiring. It's hard. It's not easy, but um, you're getting better. So I think that's one takeaway that yeah, that I have. So
To put
yeah,
in the effort, even though it's effort, it's work, but it's worth it.
yeah.
Is that? Thank you, bro. Yeah,
When yeah, exactly.
please
When
go
we
ahead.
think about it, it's hard, but without thinking, we just apply. I mean, it's very hard discipline, but thinking doesn't do anything. So start acting, and then that made me better, a little better. But I feel like everyone is working for this or struggling with this. So um, most people should have some kind of feeling point for this.
For this,
Relating.
what is this? Could you define this? You said should have a feeling point for this. Could you help me follow?
Be not being lazy. Yeah, not
Agreed.
what I just described. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Different at different points of the pandemic, at different points of the quarantine, I got super lazy. Like, I wouldn't
Yeah.
exercise for like weeks,
Yeah.
and just like waking up right before I have to get online, whether it was work or Zoom class and hop on there, like get out of bed like 15 minutes before,
Yeah,
hop on there super rushed.
yeah. We
you
think
know
we think living like that is I mean, choosing to live like that it would be easy, and then I don't know, make us better, but it's not actually. Like it makes us feel like we're in the worst version. So
I think I'd like to add, in Arabic we say, I'd like to add your poem a verse. um, so I'd like to add to what you said is, you would think that that's kind of a good way to live, an easy way to live, a nice way to live. Um, if we, I agree, if we consider on a 1 day scale, so if we look at it on a short term, very, very short term, 1 day scale, yeah, that sounds like a super good option of, yeah, I'll wake up, I don't need to wake up 2 hours before I have to be somewhere. I don't have to, I'll eat my breakfast during the class. I won't exercise to start my day. I won't change out of my clothes, and etc. etc. But if, like you said, if we look at life in a long-term scale, in a more spread out timeline, let's say over months or maybe 1 year, that's when you're like, oh, if I repeat this pattern, if I repeat these bad habits or these, lazy habits, then that's really not a good lifestyle at all.
hmm
And
yeah,
I, I appreciate how looking at things long term like that brings to light whether this is something that's potentially good or bad for us.
yeah. That was like another example of short term and long term, probably. Like yeah, like pandemic has really made us to be active. We need to actively put our effort in order to be effective in our work days and daily lives. And it wasn't like, you know, in the beginning of pandemic, a lot of people were thinking, oh, it's nice because, I don't have to go outside of my house. I don't have to drive to my work, which
Mm.
cuts time. And then, many people were thinking it's a good thing. And maybe it was a good thing in a certain way, but um, yeah, if you keep on living like this, you definitely start losing some other social aspects and a lot of good energies,
Mm.
social energies. So I mean, yeah, but we need that, and I feel like yeah, the longer we go, it's not gonna be better, and probably a lot of people are what is it desiring this social energy or
Yeah,
these
yeah, yeah, yeah.
outside energy. Yeah, yeah,
Refresh the scene, re-energize for sure, right?
yeah,
Um, I remember I was self isolating for a while, and I was, at one point I was at the house for like, you know, almost 4 weeks continuous, literally
mm,
inside the house, going just from my room to our backyard a little bit, so just two spaces,
yeah,
for, and the restroom, three spaces, whatever. Three spaces for 4 weeks, bro. And I remember the first walk. I maybe this is why I'm so big on walking now. I appreciate it so much. I give it so much value, because after those 4 continuous weeks, I went on a walk one morning, like one late morning, and I walk around my community, my neighborhood, and I see other human beings, like
yeah,
just out and about, and I literally had felt like I was the only person alive on earth.
Yeah.
Before that walk, I felt so isolated. I was, you know, like depressed. I was getting into a depressed state. I was kind of getting like, not delusional, that's a really big word, but I did feel like I was the last person on earth.
Mm.
And then I go outside, I see green grass, I see trees, I hear birds, and I see other people walking, whether it be with their dogs or on a jog. And I was like, oh, relieved,
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't know if you could relate to that, but I was super thankful where I got to
Yeah.
see other people for like the first time
Yeah.
after a while.
Yeah. I mean, I totally understand. I feel like not everybody would feel depressed, but I feel like a lot of people are depressed. I mean, I was depressed also, just because I couldn't find people to share my perspective with. But
Mm,
um, I just realized everyone has their own lives, like you said. Everyone has their difficulties, and in the middle of these difficulties, sharing and helping one another was. I realized that's the joy or the life that we should live. Instead of trying to like do everything by individual, because I mean, we think we might think that working for ourselves and not helping others. When you help others, you need to put your effort to help others, right? So, we might think that not helping others would help us save our energy
mm.
so that we can put more energy into my work, but it's not really that if we think about it. So like
It doesn't
just
work
living,
like that, right?
yeah, yeah, those helping other people, just having this community was very important. And I feel like a lot of people are more and more realizing this in this pandemic and stuff. Yeah, we see more people like walking outside and then going outside now. So like, yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, it
Yeah,
should be that.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree. I hope I didn't cut you off. Did you have?
No, I feel like we should be actively cutting each other off.
As long as you're okay with it, I'll cut
Yeah,
you off all the
I'm
time. No, I'm
totally
just
fine.
kidding. No, I super appreciate. I appreciate that. I also have noticed much more, as many people have. Much more people are out walking around or just out, not really doing anything or not doing too much, just being outside of the house, changing scenery. And I really appreciate simple things like that, that just add to the day, add to the living. I love everything you just said, bro. I think I felt all of that on a very positive level. I don't know if I could follow it up with anything. Uh, so I love what you said about the community, about being positive with one another, about sort of taking things slower, and appreciating life. Go on a walk, uh, slow things down. I don't know if there's anything slower than a walk, right? To do with your time. Maybe bird watch, but I don't do that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
Yoon, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate your time. Let's end this off. I'd love to call on you if you have any one last word to say. I'd love to end off on a positive note. So if you have like one word of advice for people to better understand each other, or be nicer to each other, or work on self improvement, what's one thing you'd like to leave us with for this time?
Um, let's see. What's a good thing to say for this podcast? Uh,
Would you like me to give you some time, bro? I could take this one for now,
yeah,
while you
if you,
think about it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
one thing I would like to ask everyone, one thing I think is super important and easy to work on, or it takes less effort than other things to work on, is just to be patient with each other. You brought up super good points throughout the episode, throughout this conversation, this beautiful conversation we've been having. It's not to discount anyone, or label them weird or strange or dangerous just because they're differences, and especially just because you or whoever may be listening, or me, just because we don't understand the person in front of us, their differences or where they come from. So I ask for patience in understanding each other's backgrounds and understanding each other's differences, and working to be kind to each other.
yeah. I remember you said the focus of this podcast, this episode will be patience, um, spreading positivity, and yeah, creating positive society. I agree a lot with patience, um, and yeah, being able to understand other people. And I feel like the patient could work out better if people could understand other people or understand other perspective. Through understanding, you create patience. I feel like patience itself is kind of hard because for a person, they just can't wait forever. But if you understand the reason why they're like that, then like, oh, these are the reason why, and then you get more patient, and you have a reason to be patient now because you understand those hardships. So I feel like patience and understanding should work together. They should go together, and yeah, and of course, I'd say the advice that I would give is on travel. It's hard, but
Nice.
travel.
I love that.
Uh,
I love that.
yeah, I traveling makes you really open up eyes and perspective. Even myself, I went on a travel last few weeks over the spring break. I went to Colorado and I was able to see many different nature and beautiful sceneries. And so I met a lot of great people. I talked with great guy, and from that tour, I learned a lot, and then it changed me to you know be more open-hearted, hardworking. So touring is very important. Not only touring, you should be learning the new perspective and new ideas when you tour. So that's my advice. Tour
Beautiful.
with the purpose of learning.
Beautiful. Tour with the purpose of learning. I
Yeah.
apologize. I just got a notification
No, it's okay.
on
It's
this
all
side that said no data. So I was like, no, did we get cut off? But it seems that we're running. Um,
that's
to-
nice.
Tour travel, with the
Travel,
purpose
yeah.
of learning, with the purpose of taking in new experiences, new
Yeah.
insights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You Please.
Sorry.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
I feel like when we think about travel, it's like, oh, it's just another big money spending. You know, you have to get a hotel or you have to go to buy food and buy all this, all that. When we think of travel, we think of that, but and then we don't really think about learning new experience or perspective. But I feel like you wouldn't realize until you travel. So you should just whatever it is, if you can, try to plan a travel, even though it sounds it's not really worth the money, or it could seem that it's time consuming, but I guarantee people will learn something. Yeah.
Agreed, agreed. Traveling's always been fun for me. Traveling's always been useful. Traveling's always
Mm-hmm.
helped me grow. That's probably one of the uh, besides traveling through space time. Um,
One
travel.
day.
Yes, yes. Traveling to different spaces is really eye opening. I've been on uh, one of one of the most beautiful trips that I've taken. I was in college at UCR after freshman year that summer. Some buddies and I were uh, in Riverside taking summer school. One of our other buddies was not taking summer school, and he was home up in Northern California. And it's a super long story, but it was during Ramadan, the month which I was fasting. My friends were not of the Muslim, they don't follow that belief system, so they weren't fasting. But anyway, I was fasting. They weren't. We planned this 3 day weekend drive, and it was so informative about myself. I learned a whole lot about patience. I was traveling. We went on hikes. We went on long drives. My friend did most of the driving for the entire weekend. There was like 4 or 5 of us in the car, but one person drove like 1,000 miles out of the 1,200-mile weekend. Um, but what I'm trying to say is, I really learned a lot about myself, about the relationships with the people I went on the trip with. I came to appreciate them super through the roof, way much more than I would have without going on the trip. Um, I came to appreciate relationships outside of those ones more, and I came to realize that, hey, these friends are actually super special, amazing people, because you can't travel with everyone, right? Traveling, there's a saying in Arabic. It's saying like, I don't want to butcher it, but the essence of it is, you don't know someone until you've either lived with or traveled with them.
Mm.
So, introspectively speaking, at some during some trips, I've taken those trips, traveled wherever it may be, by car or by plane. Taking those trips, and I came to learn more about myself than I did before going on the trip. I appreciate that.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's interesting. It says live and travel.
live and
I
travel.
didn't know travel would show a different side of you. But yeah,
Beautiful.
it's
And
amazing.
we talked earlier this week, which I was you brought in a beautiful energy to my life and to the conversation. You talked a little bit about your trip to Colorado, and you brought it up. Now I'd love to ask you, to share, you said, and you said that you learn more about yourself, or that it
Yeah,
opens perspectives. Could you share a little more about that, please?
yeah, of course. Um, yeah, from Colorado. You know, I just went there to see my dad and just have a little travel in Colorado.
Yeah.
But at the time, I met this one other person named Joe. Joe Joe went through a lot of struggles probably when he was younger. He was like around 35 years old, 37 years old. Yeah, but what were you gonna say? We're
I
gonna
was going to
okay.
ask, what was your biggest takeaway? What could you tell us one takeaway,
The
and
one
we'll have that
takeaway,
open the
yeah,
conversation.
one takeaway. I mean, I feel like this is gonna be very deep, but honesty, honesty. So honesty is the only thing that's gonna help you to realize who you are
Hmm.
and accepting your vulnerability, accepting the personality and accepting the sides that you don't want to bring up, and then accepting the sides that you don't want in you. You need to accept those with whatever it is. Maybe it is being lazy, maybe it's getting mad easily, maybe it's not understanding other people, but you need to accept those flaws. I accept those flaws, and when you accept it, you'll be able to make progress to change those flaws. But until you accept it, you would not change it. I feel like so. That's the one big takeaway I learned from Joe. He told
Wonderful.
me, yeah, he told me that I'm messed up, so I need to change. And yeah, from there I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm messed up. I accept it, even though I don't want to hear it. I'm messed up, so I accepted it, and uh, yeah, I started to do work to change it.
Wonderful.
So yeah,
Wonderful. So he was honest with you, and that helped you realize the importance
mm,
of being honest with yourself in terms of uh, directing your self growth,
yeah,
saying accepting who you are is the first step. And for me personally, I accepted that a lot of things. I'm not gonna put them all out there right now, but I accepted that I
yeah,
could I could be more explicitly express things better. So I always, as you beautifully said, bro, that thinking is really not all that helpful. Go ahead and do it, right? So I used to think a lot of good things. I used to give praise to people and give appreciation for people in my life, my friends, my family. um, Mentally, I would pray, I would talk with myself, not talk with myself sound crazy, and I don't want to be dismissed as crazy. But yeah, I thought a lot of good things, but I didn't express them. And then after a long time of working on myself and introspectively thinking about things, I I accepted the fact that I could better communicate, and communicate more openly with the people in my
yeah,
life. And as you beautifully said it, that was the first step, and that really did help me, and that did guide, and that's guiding the things I do right now, for example. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's wonderful.
Wonderful.
Um, yeah, like if maybe if you didn't accept it that your flaws, you would not have this podcast now, or like you would have not done anything that you do now. So it sure did make some progress, and I'm sure you will in your life that you will continue to explore and live life and learn from life. I feel like what we're
Amen.
talking about is all great, but I feel like one would not really hit their hearts until they do it. So these are all life lessons. Life lesson meaning you need to do it in life in order to learn it, not just through listening. So yeah,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
yeah,
You heard the man. Don't just sit on your ass. Just kidding. Don't just sit down and think about things. Go out there and do them. Whether it be on FaceTime, you out here on YouTube, on social medias, you're making a brand for your stuff, you're pushing positivity, you're working for your community, you're asking your friends to pull your time together for a greater cause, etc., 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 asking for mutual aid, asking for, donations for the community, etc., whatever have you. uh, Go out there and do it. Get to living. um, Act on your energy, and don't do it alone. Life is a team
yeah,
sport.
it is.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I
You,
hate that.
you, dude. Thankfully we've been running quite a while for now. I am still practicing my podcasting, so I would love to continue practice, bro, and have you on whenever you'd like to come on and spit more wisdom for us, share more positivity, bro.
Of course, it's my honor to be with you. Even doing this, my first live podcast with you. So it's a great experience, and I always have a great time with you. So um, we'll meet up, next time to have this more great conversation. But it was very great. It was very wonderful.
Amen, bro.
Yeah,
Amen. I look forward to doing this again, to meeting up. Always a great time. Thank you so much.
yeah.
Love you, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for
I'll see you.
stopping by. If you stopped by now, I hope you have been enjoying this conversation. Go ahead and rate us favorably and comment down below. Share some feedback for us. Be kind to my guest, Mr. Yoon, but feel free to tell me what you want to tell me. uh, Wherever you are, whenever
Criticism is
you are.
open. Criticism is open. We
Yes,
learn
sir.
to get better at it. So yeah.
Amen. Thank you, everyone. Peace.